Here we go, here we go. SP Convo, baby. Back on the scene. Got some technical difficulties. We're going to do it anyway. Yeah, welcome to the podcast. SP Convo. I'm your host. And we're going to talk about the problems in the diaspora, the Black Diaspora. And the main problem is ignorance. So just bear with me while we get started. Get this moving and grooving. Oh, come on, man. Let's get this situated. The meaning of ignorant. Lacking knowledge or awareness in general, uneducated or unsophisticated. Let me pull something up. Excuse me. Ignorance. You know, for years, black people has been mistreating one another based on culture, where you was born, myths, stories. Make a difference, whatever it is. It affects black people globally. Each black ethnic group want to feel like they on top. What defines a group to be on top? What makes a group becomes on top? Now you have different ethnic groups of black people. Africans, which is a 54-state country or continent. You have the Caribbeans. You have the black in Australia. You have the blacks in Europe, British, London. You have the American blacks. And you have blacks in the South American Latino community. Black people across the board suffered from, let's say, lack of information, lack of understanding one another's upbringing, paths in life, struggles in life, understanding of life. And I'll say, let's leave it at that. I'm going to show you a couple of videos of black on black crime to get an understanding of why I said it's ignorance. Oh, come on. Black on black crime. Let's get it going, man. Alright, here we go. See? That's in Trinidad. Black people in Trinidad fighting amongst each other. I'm telling you, it's the ignorance. You understand? Shout out to Scheming Boss. You know, all this is for fair use, informational, just to go along with my narrative. Just bear with me. Got more on deck.
Wicked thing I go on, Chris. Chris, wicked thing I go on. Wicked thing I go on, Chris. Wicked thing I want.
See? That's not gonna pop up, man. I'm just trying to get this up and running, man. Alright, let's check this one out real quick.
CCTV. I don't know whether you're watching this incident down here on the corner of Todd and Gregory.
No, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. This is in blacks fighting each other in America.
In the news this morning, a Rochester woman arrested in connection with a large fight that sent 2 people to the hospital. Here's video from a viewer taken at the scene. Police were called.
Let's look at this right here. This is News 8. Let's check it out.
Called to Welly Street for dispute, and when they arrived, they found multiple fights there. They say a 26-year-old woman and a juvenile girl were stabbed. Their injuries are considered non-life-threatening. Officials say officers on scene used pepper spray to break up the crowd. 29-year-old Taja Martin was charged with assault and rioting. Police say more arrests are expected as the investigation continues.
You see, everywhere you go, black on blacks, fighting, non-stop.
We begin tonight
non-stop. It's embedded. That's the ignorance. Now, which takes me to the Black Diaspora. Immigration, moving abroad, just simple things. In your own family, people fight amongst each other. That's just how it is. Cousins who don't live in the same immediate household as you don't know how you living. Don't know what sacrifices you're doing. Don't know what struggles you have. Don't know the good times you are having or the bad times. So you look at immigrants as your cousins, distant family members that may feel like you're living better than them because where they live at, they're not being treated a certain way, and they believe in their mind you being treated better or you living better. Whether that be stories that's being told to them, movies that they're watching, conversations from other people throughout the community, or they just put it in their own mind that what I have to deal with every day, my cousins in America don't have to deal with that. What I'm dealing with here, my cousins in Jamaica don't have to deal with that. Or my cousins in Haiti don't have to deal with that. Or my cousins in London don't have to deal with that, etc., etc. Ignorance, lack of information, lack of due diligence, not wanting to strive. When you move to a new country, your obligation is to inform yourself, educate yourself. Your obligation is to not only make something of yourself, but to learn everything about that place that you are deciding to make a life-changing, self-identifying decision. So, how do you achieve that? By wanting it, wanting to know, wanting to be informed. That's the only way you want to get it. There's a big battle going on between blacks throughout the whole diaspora. You have people moving to America. The immigrants moving to America don't want to respect the American citizens there. That causes a problem. Because you cannot move to somebody else's country and act like everything that they accomplished there is automatically yours because you have the same skin color. If you never experienced that situation, you should be gratified and you should be grateful that you're able to reside there because there's people that fought for that right. When I started traveling the world, I was young. As a young man, I didn't understand what was taking place. I had no idea. There was a situation that happened with me when I was abroad. I was offered, now I'm not going to say offered, I was told to give up something because where I live at, I'll be able to get it again. The thing that bothered me was, how long would it take for me to achieve that thing that I'm giving up right now? How long would it take me to get it again? So I was unhappy. I was a child, but I was unhappy because I didn't want to do it. Because when I was a child, I understood what I had to give up to somebody, it was given to me because I worked hard for that reward. And now that reward, I wore for a good 2 months. And now that person want me to give up my reward to somebody else. 2 months is still fairly new. 8 weeks. I only was able to hold on to that reward, that gift, for 8 weeks. Then I was asked to give it away. I knew from young that the person that wanted me to do that was ignorant. To take away from somebody else and to automatically assume that you're going to have it automatically again because where we're leaving, they don't have it. That's wrong. You shouldn't take away from nobody to give to somebody else. She should have bought that or bought those individuals those things. Because if you could afford to take the trip there, you could afford to take care of the people there. Or else don't show up there knowing that people are going to be wanting certain things from you. The first time I was on a plane, I didn't know what to think, I didn't know what to feel. But I was so happy to get on the plane to see what's on the other side. When I got to that place, it was hot. I seen a lot of people that looked like me, but they was envious of me because of where I was born at. Because I was born in New York City and they was born in North Carolina, they didn't like me. They said I had more to offer. They said I talked different. The way I walk was different. That I don't understand what they had to go through. Because in New York City, you have everything right there. You could afford anything you want. That could be no further than the truth. You have to work for what you want. Now, a person's work ethic is different. If you live in the city, you may have to work retail shops, security, construction, healthcare, computer technician. You may be homeless in the street, asking for quarters, asking for money, asking for food. In the South, they may have to mow the grass, carry water on top of their heads, washing cars, work at a restaurant, getting paid low wage. Everybody have a different struggle. But when I went down south, I was ignorant to them people not knowing that, I was ignorant to down south people knowing how to drive more so than New Yorkers. Because New Yorkers don't know how to drive. So I thought people down south didn't know how to drive. Then I realized they drove. They drove way earlier than New Yorkers. Because that's a necessity for them to know how to drive. Because there's so many places that's so far away from one another. If you used to walk there, you'd probably pass out in that hot heat. There's no water fountains as readily available like in New York City. No fire hydrants, no bodega stores where you could just go from one block to the next to get water to quench your thirst. No siree. Down south is a long, long, long walk. The South is a lot of land, a lot of space, a lot of opportunity to be found in a ditch somewhere, passed out in the heat cooking your ass. When I started traveling out the country, I kept my mouth quiet and I observed the same sentiments there. Because where I was born, in the United States of America, they said I had a good life. That I don't understand struggle. I don't understand working hard. So let me share this. My grandmother died in 1969. She was born and raised in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. My grandmother that raised me made food that tasted different. The food was so good, it was Americanized food. But at the same time, it wasn't Americanized food. It was food that had a Caribbean taste. Good. But it had American display. So the fried chicken looked like down south black American fried chicken, but the taste was Caribbean. My grandmother was born in America, but her mother's West Indian. My great grandmother's West Indian. Now when she was in America, times was rough. When my grandmother was coming up in America, times were harder because she had two different ethnic groups inside of one. Her father was born in the South, and her mama come from the islands, St. Croix, as you heard me say. So she had to figure it out. Now her kids didn't like no West Indian food. Me being her grandson, I loved it. My grandma told me stories about how people think from abroad. How their mindset is only to come to America for money and to be disrespectful towards those opportunities that people in America had to fight for, that they never had to garner that strength to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. So they're not going to be too kind to the black Americans because they feel like, hey, we all black. Somebody had to do it. Now we come ahead with the benefits. So my grandma told me a lot of people from abroad are parasitic, disrespectful, and extremely ignorant for what they don't know. She shared with me that black Americans are ignorant, that they don't know what's going on the islands and abroad as well. But the American blacks have education right here at their fingertips. They have infrastructure right here at their fingertips. They have technology right here at their fingertips. They have running water non-stop. They have gas non-stop. They have electricity non-stop. They have everything right here that will always keep them above everybody else. She informed me that in America is a big country where you have people in America that know how to live off the land. Country folk know how to, hunt and live off the land. Cure their food and take care of their food, and they have family values and traditions just like abroad. But the difference is, United States of America have different landmass, they have different climates, they have different seasons, so you have a different way of looking at life and how to survive. You get to migrate within the country and experience different things within this country, and this country have different time zones within the country. On the East Coast, it may be this time. On the West Coast, it may be 3 hours different. And you're still in the same country. Now, when you look at it like that, that's a big country. Most people, when they leave their country 3 hours later, they somewhere else. When they take a flight from their country 5 hours later, they somewhere else and not in their country. So in America, for you to fly from one state to another state and still be within America 5 hours later, that's saying something. So basically, my grandmother taught me to respect Black Americans and respect the struggle and respect the things that they had to go through. Just as a whole, what they people had to go through and endure. That's why she was happy to be in America. That's why she was happy to have me born in America. Because if I was born anywhere else, the opportunity would be far and few in between, because she didn't have no connections back home. Meaning nobody was in parliament, politics, law enforcement. Nobody had those jiggly keys, so they couldn't move their hand the way they wanted to. But in America, you could be the most lowest of lowest and make something of yourself. Other countries, not so. So for this Black Diaspora war to be occurring between Black Americans and Africans and Caribbeans and Black Britons and Black Australians, Black people throughout the Latin community, for not knowing what it is to be in a predominantly well-rounded, educated stronghold like the USA, but to come from smaller settings and smaller land masses with limited things, and to still think they have the upper hand over people in America, that's wrong. But my grandma also told me that was a trick. She said people do that to build themselves up for one and two reasons. First reason, they know the truth. Technology-wise, they can't hang with American-born kids, American-born adults, two different countries. Number two is a wall they use to defend themselves, because they may feel they may come to a country where people may be cruel to them. People may have no respect for them, because people just basically want to be acknowledged when they come to the States, and American people don't acknowledge no people other than their own. So that becomes a war defense mechanism that people use. So my grandma sat down and she shared that with me. So I took that into perspective and said, interesting. Now, for today's times, for all these black people to come to the country and fly abroad and to and from, and the people still can't get it together, that's where we at right now. That's where we at. So bear with me. Candace Owens is speaking on how black Americans don't know how to resolve anything without fighting. Let's talk about, let's watch that. Well, let's listen to it. Sorry, they can't show it. I could share it, fair use.
The ills of the left and what the left. It's a broken culture, it's a broken society, and hip-hop is hurting things. But I also want to talk to you about something I've realized. It's a broken culture, it's a broken society, and hip-hop is hurting things. But I also want to talk to you about something I've realized. Even if black Americans are aware and know their history, right? And you can get black conservatives who understand the history much more, who understand, the ills of the left and what the left has done. But still in that regard, they bring to the conservative side the same bad habits that I was hoping black conservatives would be abandoning. And what I'm talking about, number one, is conflict resolution. Black Americans do not know how to resolve basic conflicts. Everything has to turn into a fight. I hate you forever. You got to draw lines. It's like you're this gang or that gang. And you still see it happening in politics. It's a broken culture. It's a broken society.
So that's her point. All right. So let's get somebody else's point of view on blacks. Shout out to this channel, We're Lost. This is
outside of Africa, whether African American, Afro Caribbean, African people from UK.
I never wanted to live near Black Americans because I was scared.
We're not black too, we brothers.
Africans are different from African Americans.
I don't understand because we from the same tribe, kind of.
So, living in Africa for a long time, all I knew is that Black Americans were thugs, were lazy, they sold drugs, they killed people. Like, they were the most dangerous people.
America don't care about.
If you manage travel spend and you're not using the van, you're missing out. Hi, I'm Sarah.
I'm Anita.
And we're part of the finance team at RAP.
But America don't care about no black people.
But they like white people, though. They treat y'all like family.
A house, Jesus said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. I don't care.
shout out to We're Lost podcast. I'm just using this in fair use, just for understanding purposes.
If you have seen my video for the what people are saying is like you saying two people should like each other because they were born by the same mother or the same parent. Why these arguments sound right? Is who live in Africa. Okay then, let me show you something.
It's a human exodus seldom seen on quite such a scale. These are among the last of the estimated 2 million aliens expelled over the past 2 weeks, trying to beat the Nigerian deadline. Most of them are Ghanaians. Here on the border, 60 miles from the Nigerian capital of Lagos, they face another trek across the West African states of Benin and Togo before reaching their homeland. They were encouraged to come here when Nigeria was rich with oil to fill the jobs the Nigerians didn't want or couldn't do. Now they've been kicked out without warning, blamed for everything from Nigeria's soaring unemployment to the high rate of crime.
The video clips I just showed you.
See? Within Africa, the Nigerians don't want the Ghanaians over there. Black on black. Ignorance. It's ignorance throughout the whole black race. So we all the same. We raised in different countries, but we all the same. We all have the same insecurities. We all have the same bad mind at times. We all have the same depressed. We have the same understanding or their lack of when it comes to getting out of this world that we live in, this life that's already preset for us, because we are the underdogs. And when you're the underdogs, you're always going to have that nasty attitude of saying, hey, I hate my life, so I'm going to let somebody else, excuse my French, H-A-A-T, H-A-T-E, TikTok, TikTok, H-A-T-E, sorry, YouTube. You understand? So.
And tried and sent back to their homes. Illegal immigrants, in fact, under normal circumstances, should not be given any notice whatsoever.
With this announcement, it means...
You already said illegal immigrants should not be given no announcement whatsoever. So once America, because America do pay attention, once America listen to all these other countries, how they deal with their immigrants, America going to take off some of that and put it into their laws in America and send people back home. So now all these black immigrants that came to America, if they didn't teach their kids what my grandmother taught me, they did a disservice to themselves and their kids. Because the country you go to, those are people you're supposed to respect and worship. And yes, I'm going to say worship. You're supposed to worship them. Because the black American slaves broke their back without no pay, no appreciation, no nothing for everybody else to come here. Ain't no other country where black people built that country up in that way. Maybe Johannesburg, South Africa, because they were slaves underneath the British rule as well. So they have some type of understanding like the black American slavery in America. But all the other ethnic groups didn't have to go through that. They were more likely indentured servants. They got their papers, they had their freedom ship, and they kept some of their culture, and they pushed on with their life. And that's about that.
Whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody.
Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
There are 250 tribes within my country. And shall I tell you something? These guys don't like themselves. Nobody like another tribe.
One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have, I might almost call it, obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. And I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
If you don't work in IT, keep scrolling. Okay.
Now that they're gone, how are we doing? How many passwords?
You see, this is the point I'm trying to make with this video. When people from the same country or stuff like that, however, if you are an adult, then you must have understand that in reality, people don't like each other because of all these things. Now, if you want to really understand the reality of our world, this is how human relationship looks like.
Now, this part I'm going to show. I'm going to show this part right now. Like I said, shout out to We're Lost the podcast. Shout out to We're Lost. I'm going to use this for educational purposes. And then I'm going to clock out.
Earlier in this video, I told you this. If you have seen my video for the first time, my name is Steve Courage, and I'm a Nigerian, living in Nigeria, Lagos, and I would like America. You see, wherever you hear people say something like what I just said now, what they actually mean is that there are some black Americans that I do not like. Listen, there is no way on earth anybody will hate everybody from certain group or certain race. I mean, even this guy likes some Jews. Yeah, at this point in the video, somebody may want to ask me, okay, why don't you like some black Americans?
A Dayton man says he has 27 children with 17 different women. How many children do you have?
Your Honor, I got 12 sons, and I got 12 sons and I had 15 daughters. I had 27 altogether.
You are here yet again
as the father of 7 children with 4 different women to deny that you fathered child number 8 with mother number 5.
He had 3 women pregnant at the same time. He is a dog. He doesn't do anything for my child. I have to take care of my child by myself.
And that is why Roniel is famous, because he now has 12 kids. And now he's denying Jada's son, JL.
If you are a Black American watching this video, I need you to understand something, and that is, you see, wherever people say Africans don't like Black Americans, what these people are saying is that for some reason, some Africans come in contact with some Black Americans, and for whatever reason on earth, they do not like those Black Americans. However, that does not mean that these guys do not like all of the people who call themselves Black Americans. For example, if for any reason I have to live in the United States tomorrow and I come in contact with this guy, I will not like him. The same thing with this guy, and this guy. And this is not because I am feeling superior to this guy. It is just that where I am coming from.
You see, off of imagery, off of something he's seen on a TV show, he said if he ever comes to America, he would not like Black Americans based off of with he's seen on TV. The same way if an American see an African beating their wife or harming their wife or disrespecting their wife or taking food from children over there, whatever the imagery is that the Americans looking at the Africans is going to be the same sentiments. He didn't sound intelligent enough to say, if I come into contact with them, not that I don't like them, he would just stay away from them. But you could ask those individuals, why did he make those choices that he made to have all those kids, X, Y, and Z? No, he just want to automatically avoid them, but at the same time, will he see, make that law and say that's why he don't like them. That's the ignorance. That is the ignorant right there within him. So I paused it so I could see if he's going to come around and clean that up and justify why, or it's going to be flat out ignorance.
From people don't go around impregnating people like dogs. So wherever I come in contact with somebody who does that, it doesn't matter whether they are Black Americans, they are Ghanaians, they are Nigerians, or they are my brothers. We are not the same people, so I will not like them. And this is just a perfect example of how certain...
So now, this is what I'm going to say. He's from Nigeria, he watched that on TV to see, right? But he's not posting nothing about his Nigerian people. You see what kind of men are just like those men in America that do the same thing back in Nigeria. So it's always like that. People going to speak on what they see, but they never show you what they doing. And that's the main connection of all black people throughout the whole race of the black race of people throughout the whole diaspora. That's the one thing all black people have in common. They quick to expose somebody else's dirty laundry, but don't want you to see when the last time they washed their clothes. The real reasons why black people will always be behind. So when he say, not that he feels superior, because looking at him, he don't have the best dress. He's not a nice looking man. The background show books and things of that nature. But regardless of anything, he still made an unjustified comment. So, I hope you enjoy my podcast today. I hope you got something out of it. And we're going to finish this off and then signing out.
Africans can get to the United States and they do not like some Black Americans they come in contact with. However, that does not mean that because I do not like these 4 people, it means I do not like every Black American. No, that is not what it is. It is just these people and people like them that I have issue with. Then I can have another 1 million friends as Black Americans. I mean, I think that is just the best thing to expect from any human being. Thank you so much for watching my video. My name is Steve Courage.
You don't know